Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
Is really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geri Petito Show on Panj Radio. So, guys, today's going to be a really cool show for me, especially because we have authors, and everyone knows I'm the author of "I'm Not an Addict, I'm Just an Ass." And my one guest is a calling guest because she lives in Florida, as she put it, sunny Florida. And my two live guests here, I'm going to have them introduce themselves first.
Hi, I'm Janine Verduci, and I've written The Fine Tapestry of Motherhood.
And I'm Mary Teresa Weil. I'm in the play.
And Robin, introduce yourself.
I'm Robin Nutter. I'm author of The 30-Year Diet, The Journey of Me, My Fat Girl, My Fupa.
So I'm going to read the poem that I wrote about Robin first, everybody, because the reason why I do this is who doesn't like a poem about themselves, right? And the other thing is this. When we put something into poetry form, people tend to listen. And her story is amazing. So what I try to capture is by the time I'm done with someone's poem, you get a really good insight of who they are. So let's start with that. All right, guys. The 30-Year Diet is the title of her book. Her cover caught my eye and made me take a look. The book expo in New York City was the place that we had met. Looking at that cover, this book I had to get. It started at 9 when she was a kid, being called fat by her sister, left with the damage it did. Robin's not fat, no, not fat at all, but her faux pas is fat girl, with her back against the wall. Fat over private area is the spot she chose to hate. The scale made her obsessed to always check her weight. Family and faith are important to her. It did keep her grounded. Dying thoughts are a blur. Robin does love to laugh. It comforts her soul. Arts and crafts do relax her. Quiet time keeps her whole. Black's her favorite color. Most ladies do know why. Makes you look sexy and slim. Something money just can't buy. She makes a conscious effort to love herself each day. This beautiful woman, Robin, can guide you in that way. Her holidays are awesome and indulges in all meals. At least she's not depriving her needs and what she feels. She's still a bit sensitive, but aren't we all? At least today, Robin, you walk standing tall. Your story is to empower anyone who's feeling less. Your thoughts are really key to cleaning up your mess. Addiction comes in all forms, in ways you just don't know. Stopping negative thoughts, staying balanced will help you so. Your book is awesome, will help lots for sure. Once they feel empowered, it will keep them wanting more. Love Yourself Journal is by far to me the best. This coping skill, I promise, will keep you doing the rest. 40 to 50 diets, yes, Robin has tried, not to mention creams and pills. Let's get your story told worldwide. I'm honored to have met you. I know you know your worth. God will place you in his hands when your work is done on earth. That's for you, girlfriend.
I love hearing my poem. It is so me.
So,
and thank you. I love it. I love it.
Rob, can people see the cover of her book?
Yes, they can.
Okay, so I want everybody out there to see this because this is really important to me anyway. So it shows a thin woman staring in the mirror and seeing a heavy woman. So, Robin, tell your story, girlfriend.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the show. I always love talking to you and your guests, and Happy New Year to everyone.
You too.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. the cover of the book just depicts what I've felt for the majority of my life, and I've always looked in the mirror and saw a hideous person looking back at me. I felt that way for years, and no one knew about it. So I thought that I would document it in my book. My husband was asking me one day what I was writing down, and I said I'm writing down another diet that I'm going to try. And he said, how many diets have you been on? How many have you written down? And I started to count, and it was probably about 40. And he was like, are you serious? I said, yes, I'm serious. It's just something I do. Whenever I have something I want to try, whether I see it on TV or I hear about it or read about a magazine, I just try it. So he said, well, I think that he did ask me a couple questions. Is that what's normal? Is that normal? And I thought it was my normal. And he said, you should write about it. And I started documenting the diets that I had tried. And I started to research and think about and sort of give myself some therapy and where it all started. And so my first chapter starts where we were having Sunday dinner at my parents' house, and we had the pastor over and the pastor's children, and you know that's always a big thing. And my sibling called me fat and Miss Piggy and Orca the Whale, and I knew I was a little bit chubby, but that's what kids look like when they're just, it's normal. I feel it's normal anyway. And the book depicts that story and me going up and crying, and I develop a girl in my head, imaginary diet guru, and her name is Fat Girl. And Fat Girl helps me try to get thin because we believe that if we are thin, then we are happy. So every chapter talks about all the diets that I've gone on, and ultimately they all fail because it's not about your weight, or it's about being healthy and being happy with whatever God has given you, whatever life that He's given you, whatever body, shape, sizes, colors, we should be accepted by ourselves and by others too. So I feel like it's a really strong message to love yourself no matter what. And at the end, I actually have a journal in there because I want people to see the changes that they go through and look back. I've looked back at the things that's happened in my life, and now I can laugh at them. I think it seems silly the older I get and the chapters of my life that I go through. I'm like, oh my gosh, I really did that. And since I've been promoting my book, I've talked to so many women that have done similar things that I have done, and some of the chapters that talks about teas and creams and pills and some of the damage that is done that you actually put yourself through to feel accepted by others is it's surprisingly shocking when I hear other people talk about the same things that they've done to themselves, that I've done to myself. So I'm hoping my book will help others accept themselves and love the life that they were given.
Obviously, I read your book a couple times. I love your book, okay?
Thank you.
I want everybody out there to know why this book is so incredible, especially to me, and I'll tell my story a little bit, but it empowers you. This book empowers you. It doesn't tell you another diet. It doesn't, it empowers you to love who you are. I grew up very thin my whole life. My brother was obese. My brother Janine. My brother was over 600 pounds most of his life, but the most functioning 600-pound man ever. Went to work every day. It was unbelievable. Lost weight several times. This time he's lost over 300 pounds, and he's keeping it off. He looks amazing. No heart issues, nothing. But he was made fun of growing up his whole life. I used to be this tiny little thing beating people up who would make fun of my brother. So I grew up the opposite. But I was also very sick, and everybody out there knows that I cured myself of cancer naturally. I'm a nutritional health coach. Now I've got some weight on me, and you know what? I'm happy because I relate to being so thin and sick as a negative thing. So it's so funny how our childhood and our backgrounds, right, and what we grow up as affect us. Everybody can relate to this book. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a male or female. It doesn't matter. I don't care if you're thin. I don't care if you're obese. This book will help empower you as a person. Robin, was it your husband that I met? Was he with you at the book expo?
Yes, yes. He is my cheerleader, who roots me on.
Yes.
When I go to my book expo, he's just missing a cheerleading outfit, that's all.
You know, you have an amazing husband because he really is such a supportive man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
He is. And it's so funny because he says, "Oh, you look great. You look great." I said, "But my clothes don't fit anymore." And he said, "You still look great." I said, "But my clothes don't fit anymore." You don't get it. You don't get it. But he loves me no matter what size I am and no matter how much I beat myself up.
And everyone out there who's listening, she's making it sound like she's super overweight. I'm here to tell you she's not overweight. She's not overweight.
I think that it's the way you feel and what you see when you look in the mirror. I'm not going to say my weight, but I wouldn't say that I'm morbidly obese. It's just sometimes I'm uncomfortable in the weight that I'm at and uncomfortable in my skin. But I try to overcome that with positive thoughts. I look at, you know me, I'm big on putting Post-its on my mirror in the morning. I am big on getting in the mirror and talking to myself out of some of the negative feelings that I'm feeling in the morning. I haven't been getting on, Jerry, you recommended me not getting on the scale as much. I've been trying to taper to not get on the scale every morning, to put me in that
Good
negative
girl.
mood. And that's working a little bit. So I think it just takes work with any addiction, with any problem.
Right.
I feel like you're just going to have to work at it.
Talk about the Post-its. Tell everybody about that because I think that's like a really great tool.
Which one?
The Post-it notes.
Oh, the Post-its. The Post-its note, I feel like it's just a constant reminder because you think about a million things or thoughts are going through your head. And sometimes a negative thought for me can snowball into a mood. And then my mood will affect my surroundings. And my surroundings are people in my life. So I try to prevent that from happening. I try to just keep positive thoughts in my mind. I have Post-its on my computer while I'm working. If I think of something, I glance down at it. I put Post-its in the bathroom on the mirrors, of course. My mom was visiting. I'll give you a prime example. My mom was visiting. She has the same, I don't know if it's hereditary, she can do the same thing. I could just beat herself up, talk something negative about herself, and so it was rubbing off on me because I'm fighting against my own negativity, and we're both in the same house for 2 months. She was visiting from Ohio, and I sat her down, and she's read my book, and she said, I talked to her about it, and she says, "I'm sorry, I'm going to pick up your book. I'm going to read a few more chapters and just remind myself every morning when I'm doing my devotional." And then together, I put some Post-its on her mirror in her bathroom, and then like 2 days later, she wrote some down and put them on the mirror. So I feel that they're really effective. It's something so small, but it'll mean a lot to you because you're constantly working on yourself.
So I have a question for you. So when you were growing up, was your mom negative while you were also growing up?
I don't remember her being negative.
Okay.
I don't. She was very. My dad had this huge personality, and so my mom was very, very quiet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when my dad passed away, then she started to bloom and blossom, and we're like, "Oh, there you are." She's always been there, but she's never had like a voice in a lot of things. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, ladies, what would you like to ask Robin?
Well, first of all, I want to compliment you on your accomplishments because that book sounds really great. I have to read it, The 30-Year Diet. I love the cover. And I think just two points I'd like to make. Number one, always try to think of the positive like you do. I mean, you have someone in your life who God has placed there to love you no matter what size you are. So, and some people don't have that, so just always remember that. And number two, I would encourage you to get this book out there as best as you can, because there's so many girls, even young girls, teens, who need to hear your message. You know, it's really important for girls to be encouraged, and boys at a young age to be encouraged, and know that they are loved by God and by others. And I think you're doing that. So keep up the good work.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
agree with Janine. And, you know, it's really something that you went through. I know probably was hard for you, but you pulled through. You wrote this book. I mean, I give you a lot of credit, and I wish you a lot of luck. And again, your husband, I mean, you know, he's there with you, pulling you through this, and you're not alone. Just remember, you're not alone. There are so many people out there that don't come forward. And I think that, you know, this book, you know, it's going to be out there and it's going to help a lot of people.
Right.
And it's, you know, again, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm out there. I'm promoting my book at book festivals. I try to find as many as I can through the year, and throughout the year, I'm also on Amazon, Goodreads, Barnes & Noble's Lightning Source. And this year, I'm starting the 2019, I call it the 2.019, the Journey Journal Challenge, where on my Facebook group page, the 30-Year Diet Facebook group, which anybody can join, we're just going to start changing our lives together. I feel like the more people that you have supporting you and in your corner and giving you encouragement, the better. So I'm hoping that people will join on that Facebook group page, because every month, on the first Wednesday of every month, you're going to write down 12 things that you want to change in your life. We're going to put them in some type of container, keep them at your house, and then together we're going to pull one out. All together, we're going to go live, pull an event out, and then we're going to incorporate those changes into our lives and support each other through them. Because I think sometimes you get a resolution, you think that you have to stick to it. Sometimes you're going to fail. But if you have somebody in your corner saying, listen, I did the same thing. I was supposed to read a book for this year. Did you read your book? What was your book about? Blah, blah, blah. So I think that just encouraging, empowering, and supporting others, it's a win-win situation.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
But
I want to get it going in 2019.
Robin, I shared what you put up about that today.
Thank you so much.
Today or last night, I shared it. So I'm going to let you guys see what she put up. It's really cool. But I work on Wednesday nights, so I have a question about that. Can I send you some of the things that I want to do? And maybe, you know, one-on-one, we can, like, talk about it?
Yes, definitely. You can, we can talk. Hey, listen, I'm here for anybody who needs me, and I hope that people do the same, because it's going to help. We can help each other.
Right.
Exactly.
So if anybody wants to join in and get anything started, you can inbox me. You can reach out to me on Facebook. You can email me. All my information's online on my social media website pages. So yes, I'm here for you.
I'm going to put, I love you too. I'm going to put that in the Hamilton Radio also. PANJ Radio will share it, because it's really an amazing thing she's doing. She's doing this group count, right? Tell us a little bit more about it.
I just started the Facebook group page because I'm very open about what I do and what I'm doing. And I feel like some people are ashamed, or maybe because you failed at something, or you feel like you might have failed at whatever you're trying to do, whether it's a diet, whether it's all a class you're taking, or just something you're just trying to help yourself with. They just don't want to put it out there. But I always put everything. If you read my book, The 30-Year Diet, Fat Girl and I go through so many things, and I'm open and honest. I feel like honesty and being open in sharing helps me, and I'm hoping it's going to help somebody else. So I've got all kind of things in my events, and I'm looking forward to giving myself every month. I can't wait to shake mine up and see what I'm going to get. I'm going to donate some clothes. I'm volunteering more. I wrote down some things, maybe financial goals that I wanted to achieve. There's other examples that I gave other people, or walk for 30 minutes a day, go out to maybe lunch with a friend, maybe apologize to somebody that you need to apologize to, or forgive somebody of something that you feel that they might not even know that you've done to them. You know, I just want everybody to go through some type of healing process in their lives in 2019. So I'm hoping everybody will join in. we're going to have fun.
Oh, sounds like it.
So, once again, I want to thank you for calling in and being a guest. Too bad you don't live closer. I'd love to have you live. But one day, you never know, right, Robin?
I know. Maybe I'll put that in my, my and then it's going to say, get your plane tickets.
That would be so great. So before we let you go, and I hope you listen into what these beautiful ladies are going to be talking about as well, before we let you go, tell everyone again, one more time out there, how they can get your book and anything else you want to say to them.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much. I'm hoping that everybody will get out there and purchase my book, The 30-Year Diet, and if you want one for free, email me. I'll send you one for free. I have T-shirts and things like that, too. It's on Amazon, The 30-Year Diet, The Journey of Me, Fat Girl, My Fupa. I'm also on Goodreads, Barnes & Noble, and anybody is welcome to join the 30-Year Diet group page and join us for the challenge this year, or if you have any comments or if you want to ask me any questions. And also, I'm on Robin Nutter Author. So I'm so easy, accessible, so I'm out there. So reach out to me and join in for our journal challenge this year.
Beautiful. Robin, I love you. Thank you, girlfriend.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me,
Beautiful.
and thank you. I know I wish I was there, but look, you never know what's going to happen. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice
Good luck
talking to you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
honey.
you. Take care, everyone. Be
Bye-bye.
well.
So she's awesome.
She is.
Okay.
so.
The book is great, ladies. I'm not kidding you. Very,
It sounds it, yeah.
very inspiring. Okay. So, I want to let everyone out there know that I write poems for all my guests, and you were a surprise to me today, so that's why I didn't have one for you. But I do have one for you, Janine. Your second one, actually, right? Is this
And
the
I
second
love your
one?
poems, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to start with
Oh,
the
I think
poem.
that's my
third. That's why I asked you, because I thought there was...
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So this is her third poem. All right. It's called God Inspired. My beautiful friend who wrote her third book, the first two on bullying, now poems. Let's look. The Vintage Time Capsule. Da-da. Okay? I want to hold here. You hold these three up. The camera's there while I'm reading your poem. How about that? I'm going to start over, okay? My beautiful friend who wrote her third book, the first two on bullying, now poems. Let's look. Hold your books up. The Vintage Time Capsule is new. Michael Conway's Acceptance and Julian Foster's Forgiven are the names of the other two. Her newest project is here, a play she's written today. The Fine Tapestry of Motherhood is the title of her play. It's a mixture of her culture and her love she was shown, a huge Italian family, never ever being alone. A mixture of characteristics she's blended in her show, memories and experiences, family treasures from years ago. Janine created something, I believe the perfect blend, humor, drama, and conflict, resolution at the end. Her deep appreciation she has, writing to inspire in her way, with a slightly twisted conclusion in you wanting part two in her play. Janine Carabelli is the author and friend. She loves our Lord Jesus. She is a godsend. Her writings are uplifting, brings tears and some love. Janine, you are priceless. You were sent from above. She feels God inspired for her to do her thing. She won't question God because Jesus is her king.
Oh,
this is for you, sweetheart.
Love it. Thank you.
And I'll take these back. These are my books.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
That was.
So,
Love it.
ladies, take the floor.
Okay, so where do we start? So yes, as Geri said, I wrote 3 books, and one is Jillian Foster's Forgiven. That one is about bullying. The other is Michael Conway's Acceptance, and that one is about being accepted, and it's about not having prejudice towards different cultures. And then I culminated some of my poems together and put those out there. I've been writing poetry since I was 13. So the latest thing that I have been working on is called The Fine Tapestry of Motherhood, which is right there. And I've been working on that for, I'm going to say a couple years now, because the idea came to me about 2.5 years ago. and I started writing something that I, know very well and love, and that's my culture. Being raised an Italian American, there's a lot of richness in our culture, and there's a lot of richness in everyone else's culture. So I love reading and talking about or seeing plays about, different cultures. And so mine is about my Italian culture. The Slugline. Can I give the Slugline real quick?
Let's do it.
Okay, so the Slugline is about Carla, who is the character that I portray. Carla has a mom and a dad, but her father, unfortunately, she was very close with, like daddy's little girl, and he passed away several years ago. And her mom is sort of a spitfire, kind of like the mom from like Everybody Loves Raymond, like, oh, who put this here? And things like that. So the mom is a spitfire, and she loves her mom, but they kind of buck heads a little bit. So it's kind of humorously portrayed in the play. But when her husband, Carla's husband, betrays her and he leaves her, and then her best friend betrays her, she finds her confidant in the last person that she thought possible, and that was with her mom. So they rekindle their relationship, and her mom pulls her through everything that she's going through and helps her with her boys and helps her to find her way in life as a writer. And one of the poems that she has written, and I won't give too much away, but she actually has a stake in what she's writing, because something comes along to give her sort of that inspiration, and her mom backs her on it. And it's called The Fine Tapestry of Motherhood, the poem that she writes. So anyway, so it's just a mixture of a lot of a great cast, a wonderful group of people, and we're trying to tie together some really humorous yet dramatic things that we believe should be cast and put into this play.
So, Rob, how are we doing with the cameras?
Should I be?
Is that okay? Because she also has one
Yeah,
here,
she has a camera there too.
and then you
Okay.
also
There's
have
another
one there.
camera over there.
Okay,
I'm just following along.
Okay, good,
Okay.
beautiful. So, okay, I'm Italian, obviously, duh. All right, so are there any twists and turns that might get me?
Yes.
Okay.
There are some twists and turns, and there's parts, without giving it all away, that I don't think the audience are going to know right away what's going on. There's some
Okay.
there's some suspense, wouldn't you say? There's
Yes,
some suspense
absolutely.
in the play, and I did that for a reason. The husband is not readily seen, but that's because I wanted it to be the emotions felt between the mother and the daughter, because it's a story of motherhood.
Okay.
So if you have a mother, want to be a mother, or or you know a mother, this would be the play for you. And I mean mother in the kindest sense of the word.
Yes, sure we do. Absolutely. So tell us about your role. What's happening with you over there?
Well, actually, Janine and I go to the same church, and there was a function at church, and she approached me, and she says, "Do you act?" I'm like, "Well, not really," but she goes, "I need a non-Italian."
She sings amazing.
That's
I'm
so
in the
funny.
choir. I'm in the
Oh,
choir
okay,
at church.
okay.
And she's had a background and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah,
Got it.
I'm in the choir at church, and I do a lot of volunteer work there too. So I'm very involved, and my son went there to St. Greg's. So I mean, it's a good a good clique of people there. And so when she approached me, I was like, she goes, "Come on, try out, try out." So I did. I tried out for the part, and I play Anne, her non-Italian friend.
Love it.
Who pulls her through, helping her out through a lot of her situations. And I'm there. I have her back. So, so I'm there for mostly everything for her. So, I guess I try to put myself in her position sometimes, and I'm just there for support. But it's a lot of fun. It has a lot of comedic aspects to it. And I think everybody will enjoy it. I really do. It's for everybody. It's for
Thank
every
you,
kind
Mary
of culture.
Teresa.
Even
Yes.
like my Irish family culture. It's for everybody.
Yes.
We all have that kind of family.
I'm part Irish and born on St. Patrick's Day.
And yes, we're born on St. Patrick's Day. So yes. Anyway, but it's for everybody. It's really for everybody.
So you sing?
Yes, I'm in the choir at my church.
So would you be able to sing something, or do you have to practice first to do all
She's
that?
like, I'm going to She might be able to act.
You guys want to do a little scene?
Sure.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is our pedicure scene, and it's called Someone to Love. And I'll just narrate the first line. The scene opens with Carla and Ann getting pedicures at a local spa known as the Pampered Housewife in Princeton, New Jersey. So we'll just stack that up. No, Ann, I can't do it. I mean, I know a lot of people do it, but I'm just not that bold. I can't. But you go ahead. Go for it.
Well, I think I might. You have to be bold at one point in your life, right? So why not now? Besides, I'm a little sick and tired of a French manicure. So I think I'll take a chance on the blue. And speaking of taking chances, any prospective chances taken by you?
What do you mean, Ann?
Oh, come on, Carla. You know what I mean. Any prospective men.
Have you been hanging out with my mother? No, Ann. I'm just not ready.
Well, I don't mean to pry, but maybe your mother's right. Maybe it would be a good thing for you to find, even just a male friend.
Listen, I know you and my mother mean well, but how do I explain this to you? It's almost like you're allergic to eggs, and you walk into a bakery, and the cakes look beautiful, the cupcakes are decorated lovely, but you can't eat any of them. I just feel like right now finding a man is very unhealthy for me and my boys.
Well, I find it hard to believe, Carla, that a beautiful girl like you wants to die an old maid.
Okay, well, now that you put it that way, I mean, there are some men that I might find slightly attractive.
Okay, like who?
Like maybe one of my mother's doctors. And I mean, of course, there's always Marcello, the tile guy with the gorgeous build and the handsome smile and hands of gold. And there's a couple of divorced dads at my son's school. But to be completely honest, I'm good. I've been down that road before. And now it's time for me to focus on my career, my boys, my mom, you know, stuff like that.
Okay, Carla, suit yourself. But I'm going to be bold because you only live once. I'll take the blue.
That's great. Okay, listen, honest to God, that was really good.
Thank you.
Okay?
I'm just going to go for the blue polish. Go ahead.
So, of course, you know I have comments. All right. Listen, a lot of you don't know this, but I owned a beauty salon most of my life, and I actually trained manicurists forever. Mm-hmm. So listening to that about blue polish is cracking me up because that's
Right.
not taking a chance. It comes off with nail polish remover. All right. So there was really an underlying tone
Yes.
to this whole scene, which was great.
And not to cut you off, but on a personal note, it did take a while for me to try the blue one time.
That is so funny. It comes off. I used to tell everybody, wear the black, wear the blue, wear the brown. It comes off.
I know.
Okay. But the guy, that's really what that was about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I don't want to spoil it, but does she take a chance?
Oh, you'll have to come to the
Find out.
I can't wait.
No, but basically her mother and her newly found best friend, because we basically met in a book club. They're looking out for Carla's best interest. But Carla just feels like, you know, she's been hurt before and she's jaded.
Sure.
She's jaded. And so now she's thinking about her career, her mom, and her boys, which are the top priorities on her list.
So, when you wrote this play, let's talk about that, Janine, because I'm like so proud of you. I mean,
Thank
I've known
you.
you since you were young, and I
Thank
just think
you.
what you've done is amazing, and you know how I feel about you. So your 3 books, first of all, are incredible. We'll talk
Thank
about
you.
these as well. When you wrote the play, okay, so, you know, whenever we do something, like I wrote my book, right? you sing in church and now you're acting, there's always something behind. There's always a motive we have in our minds as to what we're bringing to the table and why we want to bring it. So what was your thought process before writing this play? What made you want to dive into this?
Well, I wanted to write something that showed like a lighthearted comedy about our culture.
Okay.
Because I did a lot of research on it and I prayed a lot about it. And basically all the research that I looked up said that you should pull from things that have personal experiences. Now, the whole play doesn't have personal experience to it, but a lot of the scenes in the play pertain to something that happened in my life. My mother-in-law, Louisa, was a great inspiration to me. I've pulled from things I've learned from her. My grandmother, I've pulled from things I've learned from her. My mother, different people in my life have affected me in such positive ways that I wanted to culminate that into one written script. Now, it wasn't easy. I remember being on the phone with somebody who's a writer and has written a gazillion plays, and he said to me, "You're going to revise this about 150 times." And I got off the phone with him, and I was like, "You must be kidding me." And I hung up. But he was wrong. It was more than 150 times. So once you put something out there, God hears it, and I do believe, like in that saying, "Leap in the net shall appear." Right? The saying by Goethe or whoever it was, "Leap in the net shall appear." So I took a chance. I'm like, hey, I'm just going to put this out there and see what happens. Can I tell a really quick story, though, how it got started?
It's your show.
So what happened was, and this is really crazy, this, they say the Lord works in strange ways, it's true. I was on the beach in a local Jersey beach, and I was sitting there, and this voice inside of me was telling me to move my chair, and I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to move my chair, I don't know, maybe, and it was going, no, this voice was saying, move your chair and go sit with the people from yesterday that your sister's friends with. And I'm like, but here's where my nephews are. But then my nephews took off and went for a walk on the beach, and I'm like, okay, maybe that's God telling me to move. So I moved. And I sat there. What are the chances that I end up talking to someone that owns a theater? I just started talking to this guy that was friends with my sister's friends, and he immediately says, "I'm putting you in touch with my manager of the theater." He texts her. She texts me right back. We get together for lunch the next day. She could relate to this play and had tears in her eyes and said to me, "We're going to have a cold read. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have a reading, a first read." So we did that, or a stage reading, I'm sorry. And we did that. And then after that, we kept in touch. Unfortunately, there were a couple circumstances that I ended up not going with this theater, not on purpose. They were wonderful people and everything. We still keep in touch. It's just that there were a couple of things that didn't work out. So I moved on, and I went to this theater in Bordentown called the Central Valley Theater and Banquet Hall. Beautiful theater. The gentleman was very nice, and he invited me to come in with my group. And we've been there since September, October. So it started way back in August. So it's just started as a little seed, and now, we're seeing it sort of grow.
So cool.
Yeah. So, but it's a cool story that you never know, like, why things happen. And I was at that theater, I really do believe, to audition people.
Absolutely.
And get people to,
absolutely
see what the play was about.
Every single day something silly happens in my life, and I look up and I'm like, all right, God, absolutely you. Something really silly.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And so I absolutely believe in that. But here's the thing. You were connected enough to know, let me listen to that voice.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
And
sometimes we don't listen to it.
You don't want to ignore it.
Right.
So that's really cool.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about your books. Well, tell everyone when the play is.
Okay.
The address, dates, times.
Okay, so it's March 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 7:30, 7:30, and 2 o'clock matinee on Sunday. And then you can get tickets through the Central Valley Theater. They will not go on sale until like February. So we can, let you know when they're on sale, but that would be the place to connect with if you would like tickets,
So now let's talk about your books. Okay? Talk about your first one. Tell us a little bit about that, and then go to your second and your third.
Sure. So Jillian Foster's Forgiven is basically a book and a journal that kids can write in and talk about things that are happening in their world with regards to being bullied. And nowadays with all kinds of bullying, cyberbullying, texting through bullying, things like that. It's a really strong topic, and it's one that I have a vested interest in because I was bullied in high school.
I didn't know that.
Yes. And so I write about this girl, Jillian, and her experience. But at the end, because it's a youth Christian book, Jillian finds forgiveness in her heart. And only with finding forgiveness for this girl, Allison, does she become actually friends with her in the end. Like, how crazy is that? You'd never think two people that are arch enemies. What were they, frenemies? I don't know. But they become friends in the end. But when you see what Allison was going through underneath it all, you don't see that. So I write in the end of my book that what we see are only the plant. I'm sorry. What we see is only the plant of the man, never the roots, and roots grow deep.
Hurt people hurt people.
Love that, and you're right.
Okay, hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, I've heard you say that, and it's
yes.
true.
The bully needs more love sometimes than the person they're bullying.
Funny that you said that. I had one of my sons said to me, "Mommy, a little boy was getting bullied, but Mom, he has a little bit of a social awkwardness about him." He goes, "Mom, I'm gonna get him a snack today at lunch, or I'm gonna give him money for a snack." And I said, "Really?" I said, "Luciano, why are you doing that?" I said, "I thought you just told me that he bullied you or something." And he goes, "No, you know what, Mom?" He goes, "It's not his fault. The other kids were pushing him. And I want to show him that I'm not holding any resentment."
That's
and
beautiful.
for an 11-year-old kid.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
So.
It's beautiful.
And then my second book, Michael Conway's Acceptance, I wrote that because it's not only prejudice in a form of the color of skin, it's prejudice in the form of somebody comes into your school and has glasses, somebody's heavyset, somebody's handicapped. There's a lot of different forms of bullying, and we need to learn to accept people and treat them with respect. You might not agree with what they agree with. Nobody says you have to, but just treat them the way you would like to be treated. So, and this is the same thing, but of course, after I wrote the girl book, which is both for girls and boys, my boys said, "Mommy, you got to
That's
create
right.
something for boys." So I
love
did
it.
a basketball one.
I love it.
And lastly, the vintage time capsule is, I picked about, I'm going to say maybe 50, 58 different poems that I thought would inspire people. And I just put them all together in a culminated, book.
Read us one of your favorites.
I just turned to this one, so I'll read this one. I don't know if it's my favorite, but I'll read it.
Okay.
It's called Glass Eyes. Glass eyes, they seem to see right through and pierce my heart with diamonds blue. A chance I took, and I've always said, I'd love to kiss your lips of red. Your heart reflects an amber light that tell me things will be all right. The greenish tint of spring's array, you've brightened up my every day. With violet embraces like none I've known, together through the love we've sown. So strong the glass that doesn't shatter when you and I are all that matter.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
really beautiful.
That's beautiful. Read me one more.
How about you?
It's
Pip?
beautiful. Well, let me see that.
Oh, The Boots of a Soldier I've read before. Want me to read that one?
Oh, yes.
All right, I'll read The Boots of a Soldier because this is
That-
for all
That's probably one of my faves.
of the men and women that are
Yes.
serving and continue to serve that we should be so grateful for. The
Yes.
Boots of a Soldier. Here we go. The boots of a soldier so rugged and bold tell a story that may have never been told. Of the thousands who fought in defense of our land and still traveling uphill with Old Glory in hand. For the boots of a soldier have traveled so far, leaving families behind to defend who we are. Without them, the victories would never be won and protection erased for each daughter and son. The terrain that they walk on is foreign to all, but they know how to get there when they hear duty's call. A brotherhood of patriotism for the whole world to see as they protect every freedom given to thee. Protect them, dear Lord, as they travel afar, and allow them to know we respect every scar. For a soldier is someone who selflessly gives, selflessly gives, so that each of us can enjoy the life that we live. So as you quietly tuck your children in tonight, know that our soldiers won't give up the fight. Say a prayer for our soldiers that peace will unfold as we wait patiently for each story to be told.
And you wrote that.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
That's one of my faves in that book.
Thank you.
You know, unfortunately, what's happening today is we're forgetting about what they've done for us. So, you know, that brings a tear, you know, to most people. And your poems are amazing. I love all your poems, but that's really, truly probably my fave.
I get the chills when I read that.
Yes.
And I honestly don't personally know anybody in the military
Oh,
except
I
for a
did.
friend's brother.
Oh,
But,
I did.
yeah. So thank you to all those who serve.
Yes. So, Mary, what would you like to say?
Well, first of all, I'm just so glad to be here, and I'm so glad that Janine had confidence enough to ask me to help her out in the play. And I have to say I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm excited at the same time. It's my first time, you know, acting, I would say. But it's so funny because whenever I've been to I go to a lot of, like the Kelsey Theater a lot. Like I go there, I support it, I go there all the time. And I've always thought of like how these people, what they do, you know what I mean? Like now I have even more respect for what they do because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work.
Thank you.
You know, not even just writing the play, acting, I mean, the whole thing. There's so much that goes into it. You don't see that when you're just watching it from an audience. You don't see all the details that go into a play. You know, it's tremendous amount of work. So really, I give everybody credit. I give Janine credit. I mean, really, for doing this and producing it, writing it, and you know, getting everybody together and just you know, getting the right people. And honestly, it's really, I'm really proud to be in it.
Oh, thanks.
I am.
Mary
I'm very
Teresa.
proud to be in it because it's going to be a lot of fun and exciting. And then, like I said, it has a little bit of comedy in it, which I love too. So I always like to make people laugh.
Well, she knows that I was in Tony and Tina's wedding at one point. So that comedy side, I love comedy.
Yeah.
And Mary Teresa, she works with me every Monday and Wednesday. She rehearses.
Yeah. I go to her house and we do some rehearsing and stuff like that on the side.
Yep.
So, but you know, I just have to say that I'm a real estate agent, though. That's what I do for a living. I work with Keller Williams Premier. Right now we're in Hamilton. A new office just opened up, but we're opening up in Robbinsville. So we're getting an office there. I'm not sure exactly where yet, but it's going to be in Robbinsville. So I'm excited about that.
Do you work with a team?
No, I'm independent.
Okay.
I'm independent. Yeah. So
She's an independent actress and an independent realtor.
But it's fun. It's a great group of people there. I love everybody. It's just starting from the ground up from, you know, at this office, and everybody's wonderful. So I'm really excited about it.
That's cool. So you mentioned the hard work that's put into plays and shows, and, you know, you're right, because I have a lot of actors on my show, a lot of singers, musicians, right? And we think we're just going, you're acting, we're seeing it, you're singing, great. But we don't have a clue as to what really goes on. I've had the privilege now to go behind the scenes at so many different shows and things, and I'm just like blown away. I mean, everything is on you guys. You know, you're the show. So the place doesn't say, okay, I'm going to get you lighting, okay, I'm going to get you.
Right.
No, you are the show. You're it.
Yep. And this is the funny part, the irony of it, Jerry, is when I wrote it, I thought I was going to hand it to somebody and be like, but bye now.
Yes.
That didn't really happen. We make plans and God laughs. So he had other plans for me. So I found out that, okay, now I need to do this myself, but at least it has my name on it and I can run it the way I want to run it. So I'm directing it, like Mary Teresa said, you know, producing it, obviously, you know, written. I wrote it all. But then I wanted to act in it, which is the only thing I thought I would maybe do, not do the directing or the, you know, but then I guess it's like the Frank Sinatra song, I did it my way. Like you can't blame anyone, you know, it's got to be all done by you. So like I said, I've researched it. I have lists upon lists of everything that we need to discuss. and exact times. I have an advisory board, so we know when we're going to meet and things we're going to accomplish. We don't want to waste time. We just want to go in there, rehearse, and get everything done, the props, the scenery, the sound, just to name a few. And so, yeah, it's a mountain, but
you're doing it.
well, the thing is, you only live once. There's no dress rehearsal. So,
This is our dress rehearsal,
I don't
right?
want to be on my deathbed thinking, I should have done that.
No, never.
So, yeah. But Mary Teresa is a pleasure to have.
Oh, thank you.
As my friend Anne, as my best friend. I could not have asked for a better, fellow, or we should say female actress to play the role with. And she actually inspires me because she'll tell me, oh, don't worry, we can get that handled. That's all taken care of. That'll be fine. And I'm like, oh, you think so?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
So we're coming to the close of the show, ladies. We've got a few more minutes. So I want to say something to you personally because I think this is kind of funny. You know how God works and how things happen. So I've known you since you were young, but we went our separate ways, of course, and then social media is out there. Well, how Janine and I reconnected, do you remember? Do you remember the lunch that you had with your husband?
I do, but refresh my
Okay.
memory. It's
so
somewhere.
my grandson was using her husband as his dentist, his right?
Orthodontist. Yep,
But
exactly.
I didn't know it was Janine's husband. We didn't see each other for years.
Right.
And
Where
so
were we?
So I got to meet her husband, not knowing it was your husband, and I was like, I love this man, and this is one of the reasons why. He had Christmas cards taped on his door in the waiting room, and I thought, that took bravery. That took guts, and I loved it. So I'm out to lunch one day with friends years ago that I went to school with who lived in different states. We all kind of got together. People were coming in out of town, and we went and met somewhere. And it was an Italian place. I don't remember, honestly,
Okay.
where we met. But your husband walked in, and he said, hi. And I said, hi, how are you? And he sat down waiting for his wife, and in walked you.
Oh, yeah, I do remember.
And I come over to him, I'm like, are you kidding me? You're his wife? And then that was it. And then we
Yes.
connected on Facebook and all,
Probably
and
was
we're
La
back.
Piazza, I think. But
It
yes.
might have been La
Yeah,
Piazza,
yeah.
yes. And I just thought that was crazy. And now, look at what's happened since then,
Exactly.
right?
And I couldn't have done it if I didn't have a very supportive, loving husband.
No
and
kidding.
two loving
He's
children.
really sweet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your husband is awesome.
Thank you.
And,
I'm
you
blessed
know,
to have him.
it's just how crazy little things happen throughout. And you look back and you say, wow, but if that little tiny thing didn't happen, you
When
know,
you're connected
right?
to this
Isn't
other
that
thing.
something?
You're 100% right.
Yes.
Oh, I should say my son's in it too because
Oh,
I
right.
said they're inspiration.
No, yes.
Both of them wanted to be in it. Soccer sometimes takes precedence, but one of my sons is doing it, Massimiliano, so he's happy to be the soccer player.
Yeah, that's going to be cool.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't wait to see that.
Thank you.
So I'm going to have you ladies tell everyone again and bring up your real estate, everything. Tell everybody again what you're about, how they can get in touch with you for real estate, and then I'll have you do the same.
Okay, again, my name is Mary Teresa Weil. I'm with Keller Williams Premier in Hamilton right now. So, you know, I do have a Facebook page, a business Facebook page that I just have up. So you can look me up, just Mary Teresa Weil, and you'll on Facebook, and you'll see me there. So I just started that, so I'm really excited about it, you know. And Again, I do sing in the choir at St. Greg's, but I also do a lot of other volunteer work, and I work with, it's called a ministry called the Golden Halo, and I work with dogs. My dog in particular, her name is Kimiko. She's a golden retriever, and she's a therapy dog. So there's a ministry that we started at St. Greg's with Father Michael McLean.
Yes, I did see that. Beautiful.
And we have 12 dogs now. Everybody owns their own, you know, everybody owns their own dog, but we go to different places like Care One Assisted Living. We, you know, we visit the people there once a month. And we also, at St. Greg's, we have a sensory mass every Saturday night at 6:30, but we go with our dogs the first Saturday of every month. And that, I have to say, that's like the busiest mass going, but the children love it. Children with autism or anybody with disabilities. That's what the sensory mass is for. Anybody can go to it, but again, we're there the first Saturday of every month. It's, you know, we get there like around 7 o'clock with the dog. So I love it. So.
Wow, that's amazing. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Janine?
So, again, my name's Janine Verduci, and I am author of Jillian Foster's Forgiven, Michael Conway's Acceptance, and The Vintage Time Capsule. These are 2 youth Christian books, and this is a book on poetry. You can get them through, this one's Lighthouse Christian Publishers, and these are all on Amazon, I believe, and you can get them through barnesandnobles.com. Yes, I believe all of them are on barnesandnobles.com, if not the other, these 2. And then I'm happy to say I do have somebody that has a really good media sense. She's doing photography for us. She's doing media. So I do have the Fine Tapestry of Motherhood Facebook page. Please feel free to go on. It's a public page and just like it if you could. And then, of course, I'll need a lot of prayers because it is a mountain. But I'm so excited to be climbing this mountain and having such a wonderful cast and a wonderful crew and people that are so supportive like Geri and everybody who's promoted me in any way. I appreciate that.
So I want to thank all my listeners and viewers, and I want to thank my guests, and I want to thank Robin who called in. These ladies are very incredible women. They're encouraging, they're inspirational. So they're not just here to tell you about the play they're in or the play she wrote or the books. Every one of my guests today are incredibly inspirational. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Robin's book again, The 30-Year Diet, guys. Please check this out. There's not a person, especially women, but not a person that has not struggled with the way they looked. Even if they're not overweight, they've struggled with thinking they are. So this book is incredibly inspirational and can help you guys. Okay? Janine's books. I've read them all. I'm here to tell you, buy these books. Okay, give them as gifts. First of all, her poetry is off the charts. And these books will help someone. So this is what I want to say to everybody about everybody's New Year's resolutions, right? When we grew up, we always had a selfish resolution. It was always to do something, lose weight, find a boyfriend, right? I'm being serious. So whatever it was, always kind of selfish. How about this? I'm going to put something out there for you. Make your New Year's resolution be touch one person's life. One. The life of one person this year, whether it's through buying a book, okay, whether it's through helping them, whatever it is that you can do. One person this year, okay? So that's the challenge I give to all. So thank you again. Thank you,
for
Robel.
having us.
Great show.
Thank
Okay,
you,
ladies.
Rob.
Awesome show.
Thank
Awesome
you
show.
so much.
Thank
Okay?
you so much.
So, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Geri Petito.
I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.
When you don't know just what to do.
Just what to do, just what to do.
If what you're feeling is really true.
It's really true, is it really true?
Just keep your ideas safe and sound.
Safe and sound, safe and sound.
That's exactly how change is found.
Change is found, change is found. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. And in time, this too shall pass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Geri Petito taught the class. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. Loves the answer, the greener grass. I'm not an addict, I'm just an ass. One day at a time, free at last.